All right, fellas, I want to go in and talk about my history with Yo-Zuri lures. Anyone who knows me knows that I am a fan, huge fan of Yo-Zuri lures, but you may be surprised to know that that has not always been the case. When I first started fishing with lures, I was in a tackle shop and a guy came in and he was very excited to get a black and silver Yo-Zuri crystal minnow. I have here what might be one of the last productions of that style. Now, by the time this had come around, if you can see the striations in the foil pattern, it was a flatter foil that was on that those lures had at the time, and they were not cheap at $16 to $18 a lure. And I bought a few of them, and I bought them basically based on the recommendation of people, and I didn't catch fish with them. However, I have to believe it was my fault why I didn't catch fish with them. I could have been fishing them in the wrong place. There were no fish. I mean, there could have been a number of reasons why I didn't catch fish with them at the time. Maybe I just didn't give them enough of a chance as well. I was still using cut bait and shrimp and squid a lot simply because that's what the people I fish with. But I never really liked that style of fishing. I've always liked lures. And so, yeah, I bought a number of these without actually catching fish. And this one here, maybe not this one, but I have a couple others in my boxes at home. Basically were the last ones that I said I was going to ever buy. I said I was done buying Yo-Zuris. I'm not catching no fish with them. I went to fish paddle tails and whatnot, and I was catching a lot of fish with fishing paddle tails, soft plastics. And I said, you know what? I'm done with these Yo-Zuris. Then this one came into my life. I saw this in a store and I said, wow, that looks interesting. It has this prism 3D effect. It has this attack point, the eyes. I mean, everything about it just looked gorgeous. And I'm like, man, the fish have got to love that. And I said, you know what? I'm going to give Yo-Zuri one last chance. One last chance. And I bought this lure, took it out. The fish reacted to it like it was crack. I mean, it was ridiculous. I couldn't keep the fish off the hook. Took it out a few days later. I was still catching fish, trout, redfish, all kind of fish. Started buying more colors. This one slayed a beast of a snook. I mean, this series right here reinvigorated my. Then I understood what everybody was talking about with these. Went back and I even fished these after that. And I started catching fish with them. And I realized why everybody who I was hearing was so in love with Yo-Zuri. And they were very durable. They're Japanese bait manufacturer. Everything was lasting. They were great. So Yo-Zuri went from this lure $16 to these, which were around $14, $13. So I was saving a little money, but more importantly, I was catching fish. The next evolution in the Yo-Zuri was the 3DB series. Now, this is actually a freshwater series that I was using in saltwater. It's supposed to have these edge ripples on the bottom, whatever. I don't know if they're supposed to add vibration. I don't know if that actually meant anything, but I was catching fish with them. Great little lure. And this lure sits in between the size of this one and the smaller version of this one. Now, this one is a little bit bigger and it has a bigger brother, the Mag Minnow. This is the biggest Yo-Zuri crystal minnow, 3D crystal minnow. That's not a Mag Minnow or Magnum. Okay, and then there's this one, and then they make a smaller one. And so this one set in a nice in-between size to this one and the smaller one. And so I liked fishing that lure. The next year or two, they came out with the 3DS, and I may have caught in one sitting more fish with this Yo-Zuri 3DS. This is not the actual one than with any other fish. And this smaller version of the Yo-Zuri 3DS is a trout killer. I've caught my personal best trout twice on this lure here. And actually, a friend of mine, while kayak fishing on this nice, we call this 24 karat magic right here. On this 24 karat magic, hooked up with a huge tarpon on this lure. Now, few things I like about this lure. One thing in particular I don't like about this lure. This lure represented a change from all these other ones. So the profile changed. The profile was fattened out a little bit. If you compare it to this here, it gave you a little chunkier profile. Then this lip, this coffin lip, allowed it to dive a little bit deeper than these. So where these swim around 4 to 5 feet, this was swimming 6 to 7. Okay. So on the flats, this was great because it didn't swim so deep. It swims about 2 feet or so. This one is swims a little too deep for the flats. And even some of these bigger ones, I mean, the bigger the lure, the bigger the lip, the more water it catches and the deeper it dives. Some of these bang on the ground as well. And so, but if you're fishing in a little bit deeper water, these are awesome to use. So the drawback to this, however, is these have a shelf life. And what I mean by that is this hook hanger in particular, I find that it wears out. I find that the fish or structure that you may cast toward damage these hooks. And this is the only hook hanger in all the series of lures that I have from Yo-Zuri that I've ever had this issue with. And it's not just one, and it's not the hook itself, but the hook hanger. I've had it where they separate, or like on this one, I don't know if you can see it, where it's just twisted up and bent up. And this one, the actual plastic has cracked. A snooker trout or whatever, I can't remember what it was, hit that thing so hard it actually like cracked the lure. If you can hear that. So I need to get another one of those. Then Yo-Zuri came out with the Mag series. They came out with a Mag Minnow. They also came out with a Mag Darter. So these represented a change as well. And I'm not going to really talk about the Darter so much, but these are a great lure as well. Mostly Yo-Zuris were known for their Minnow series with the lip. The Darters are a break from what they're known for, and they did them well. This one went back to a foiled over pattern and a fatter body shape similar to this one, but it also put a ball inside that moves to the back, and on the cast you get a lot more distance. And so these are great for covering water. They make them in different sizes as well. But what happened was Yo-Zuri took, and this is what it looks like to me. This looks like the evolution of Yo-Zuri from here to what I'm going to show you now. And that's your 3D Inshore Yo-Zuri. They have them in different sizes. Here's the bigger one. Your 3D Inshore Yo-Zuri, to me, is the culmination of all of these lures into one lure. Now, the only difference is if you want to fish a little deeper, I think this lure still has its place. But, I mean, this lure casts like a dream. It has the finish that you want. It has that fatter shape. Not to say that these aren't going to get hit now, because these still crush it. These still crush it. Fish are dumb. They're going to hit what floats in front of their face when they're hungry. But I think this one just covers water so well. Everything is built on it so well. And from $16 to go to Walmart and pick these up for $7.99, buddy. You can get 2 of these for the price of 1 of these, basically. 2 for 1. And in my opinion, this works better than this. Cast better. I believe more fish are attracted to it. It's just a dream. And in this series, they came out with the walk the dog style bait. Now, this is the only size in the walk the dog style bait. And it might be a little small for some, but it works. I've caught fish on it. They have a popper. It's the only the only lure I have not caught fish on it yet. And it's new to me. I don't fish poppers that often, so that's probably why I haven't caught fish on it. And this popper is a little small, but if you're on a shallow flat, likely will work. They also have, I don't have one sitting in front of me right now, but they also have a what they call surface minnow. So if you take this lure, it has a cut down lip, and so it doesn't go any more than 6 inches deep. Great for a shallow flat. And then what is quickly becoming my go-to, if this ain't working, this is what's going on. And I might even start out with this now. This is Yo-Zuri's twitch bait. Now, to me, it looks like, I hate to say this, but it looks like a knockoff version of a mirror lure, Mirrodine. And so what? They're not the only company out there who has a bait shaped like this. So while you go minnow here, this looks similar to the shape and feel of a greenie. And these come in a smaller size as well. And when I initially started fishing these, I felt like the smaller size would catch more. I've caught more fish using the bigger one. I almost don't even pull the smaller one out anymore. I've caught more fish with this, and I catch keeper fish with this. So this is awesome. So that's my history with Yo-Zuri. And like I said, they have a couple other lures that, like these darters. This darter caught me a huge snook. When I say huge, I'm talking upper slot. Nice snook one night. This one I hooked up with. Now, I will say be careful. This is a replacement lure. I cast one of these into a pilot and the back broke. Not too pleased with that. I mean, I wasn't happy with the cast, but the fact that the back broke left me a little shook. And here's one other plug that I have. I have a number of these. These are similar to the Daiwa SP minnows. These are called Yo-Zuri LC minnow or long cast minnow. They also have that mag transfer system in them for maximum casting distance. I don't typically fish a huge plug like this, but I gotta believe that they'll work. This summer I'm gonna fish it more. What I do like about this though is you can get a big profile lure out there, and these don't dive too deep. Small little lip on them. So 1-2 feet of water, and it's gonna stay buoyant. Okay, it's not gonna be banging on the ground simply because it's big. So if you got a fish out there that's hungry for big lures, this is the small size of the LC minnow. So there you have it, guys. That's how I came about my love of Yo-Zuri lures. And in my personal opinion, their 3D Inshore series, these in particular, not just these colors, because I have them in a ton of colors. And like right now, I can tell you this color right here is the one. Let me get it out of the package. This color is the one that has been slaying them lately. This ghost color. And the fish are loving that. So that's why I like Yo-Zuri lures. They're durable for the most part. The price has come way down, which I love because I'm cheap. And they work. If you fish for food, they put food on the table. If you fish for fun, they put fight on the end of your line. Go out, get yourself a Yo-Zuri, 3D Inshore, Crystal Minnow, 3DS Minnow, 3DB Minnow, Popper, Long Cast, Darter, anything. And you know what you're going to be doing? Fishing the best. Have fun. Tight lines. We out.